Hello and welcome everyone to round 4 of Race Department's Formula FG Championship, and we are here in Austria at the Österreich for, well, the replacement Grand Prix effectively. We had to get rid of Baku, we just could not handle it, so that is rather unfortunate. But either way, I am Aidan Kerrin and I am your host tonight. Going to have quite an interesting race considering that, well, qualifying was wet. We've thrown the grid into absolute disarray, and it's not going to get any better for the drivers anytime soon. Rain is on the way as well in the race. It's already a hard enough track, even before you start putting wet weather on top of it. So, definitely going to be one to watch. And talking of that grid thrown into disarray, Rui Martins has picked up his second pole position of the season for 2KF1, and he'll be alongside Jordan Bradford in the Falcon. So, not expecting to see that, and Jordan very close to being able to pick up his first pole position, but not quite enough. Stefan Berner and Nathan Corns on row 2. Like, if you go back a couple of seasons, that would make sense, but that's weird for this season, that is for sure. Joseph Wright in 5th. The Raven Wests, one hell of an effort from them, and they've also got a new look this weekend, something that I don't personally agree with. I don't think it was necessary, but there you go. It is what it is, and it seems like certain people got their wish. Hugo Rossello will start in 6th place, very dangerous there. Danny Totos in the Karanen starting in 7th place, and they've got a lot of race pace up their sleeve as well, so Karanen Motorsport cars might be two cars to watch. Rob Sharp in 8th. Tapio Rinyaho in 9th, and then Luke Rosella in 10th place. After that, I mentioned just before, the Karen and Motorsport cars might be ones to watch. Tim Engbrink starts in 12th, and then right after that we get into, well, the cars that should have been doing a lot better. Daniel Harvey, 13th, Carlos Rodriguez, 14th, James McNamara, 15th, Manola Sigalakis, 16th, Jack Lasky, 17th, Ben Utsa, 18th. Like, crazy. Just absolutely crazy. And not only that, also Omar Saeed going to be starting down in 22nd, and you just don't expect that to happen. So, definitely going to be one to watch now for this race. I think it's 41 laps. Up for, in this race, it's going to be crazy. I'm looking forward to it, and we will head to the grid right now then for the Austrian Grand Prix. Welcome to the grid then. As you can see, it is dry cars out there on slicks at the moment. You can see the Raven West just in the background. We're already up into 5 lights though, however, and we are underway then here in Austria. Looks like it's a good start there from Rui Martins, just being able to hold off that Falcon, but now Bradford just sneaking into the lead as they come up the hill towards turn 1. Stefan Berner is close there as well. And there we go through the first corner, and it's Bradford taking the lead, holding, and yeah, he should be able to take it. So Jordan Bradford then into the lead there for Falcon. Rui Martins down to 2nd. Stefan Berner has been able to hold on to 3rd, but he's now under pressure from Nathan Corns. It's bright red and green, speedy colours for the Raven West this week. Rob Sharp moving up nicely there. Carlos Rodriguez as well. Like, what a fantastic start from him, actually. Starting down in 14th. Just straight away, just took advantage of cars having slow getaways. The DTKs, as you can see back there, haven't had a great start. Well, actually, there goes one. Jack Lasky moving back up to 12th there with good amount of late braking. McNamara looks like he's moving up there a little bit as well. Now the fun really begins here. Slipstream battles beginning, and we're already seeing that there's a few little groups. So McNamara leading this group at the moment. And that could be really bad news for them. They're going to want to try to catch up. Hugo Rossello now onto the back of the Raven Westers. Just seen some of the cars come through. Oh, Bradford and Martins through the final corner. Bradford are going to be able to hold it. Takes the high line. It's now Martins in strife, as it will be Berner having a look down the inside. Does the BRT have quite enough? Omar Saeed has done the fastest lap. And into turn 1, and is Stefan Berner still on the inside, but Martins will be able to hold. And it's Bradford who's been able to just skip away from it all. Jack Lasky's been able to move up a little bit as well. Yeah, definitely. Omar Saeed at the moment, definitely pushing forwards. Up to 14th, sorry. Having started 22nd, so looking really good at the moment for the Turkish driver. As Engbrink, oh. Interesting move there with Rosella, and Rosella is definitely going to lose out here. Likewise, Engbrink may do so as well. Rinho is there, and look at that angry battle pack. Cars everywhere, ducking, weaving all over the place. In the end, Saeed has moved up to 12th. He's on the outside here, but should be able to slot back in. Engbrink leading that little pack. Rosello, Rinho, Sigalakis, McNamara. They've all found each other again now. Lasky there in 10th, Rodriguez 9th. Stefan Berner, oh, straight away. It's a loose wheel there on the BRT. The reliability there for the BRT car, just letting itself down a little bit. You know, they haven't put that one on properly. It's going to be coming in for an early pit stop, and now it really, well, that's going to really hurt his race. But depending on the rain and everything, he's not completely out of it. You do feel for him though, because there's a lot of pressure on the BRT, on the drivers, on the team at the moment. And it's not particularly his fault. That has created another angry battle pack, and it's Harvey making the most out of it so far. Oop, Harvey going wide. Oh, very close there. Utsa just has to back out of it, and they're going to lose more time. So there you go. Saeed is already into 10th. Lasky's moved to 9th. Saeed absolutely moving at the moment. Just look at this Optima go. Further up now, we may be looking at 3 wide. Sharp. Yep, Totos has moved through as well, and Rossello does get shuffled back. Nathan Corns, meanwhile, is in 3rd at the moment for Raven West. Quite a change for Raven West from last round, not just in terms of the colour of the car. Obviously, that is a massive one. Not sure how long they'll keep that livery this season. And of course, as well, just basically how the race is going. They were walking away from Portugal feeling quite happy the fact that they had 2 cars finishing. Now they are in 3rd and 4th. Still a long way in the race left to go. You know, we're only starting lap 4. We've got a 41 lap race. But amazing what a week can do. Yeah, down under brakes. Danny Totos holding position. Omar Saeed there has gotten past Jack Lasky, and it's also created another battle pack here. Luke Rosella maybe going to have a look at the championship leader, though, however, he's let Engbrink through on the outside. What will happen? Rinho is having a look as well, and there'll be Engbrink that nearly loses out, not quite. So Stefan Berner is absolutely still going. Come down, I reckon, to maybe what they're going to decide to do in terms of stopping for wet tyres should it start raining a bit later, which it is forecast to. Jordan Bradford now. He is loving this moment. Just look at him go at the moment. Yes, Battle Pack still going between Sharp, Totos, and Rossello. And Rossello just keeps finding himself tucked in the pocket there. He can't do anything about it. They get to turn 1. Totos taking the line yet again. And Rossello just nowhere to go. Totos just struggling to be able to find a way past Rob Sharp at the moment. Meanwhile, Omar Saeed, this guy is still going. Damien's son has been looking a little bit lackluster in recent weeks and hasn't been doing too much, we've heard, to try to overcome it. He's just sort of doing the same old, and it's not working too well for him at the moment. Now Luke Rosella trying to find a way back past Tapio Rinyaho. Rinyaho really wants to be trying to catch up to Lasky, who's currently in the final points paying position. That will be a battle pack to continue watching, no doubt, as the race continues. So it's Davizioso, Allington towards the back. Bradford, though, just pulling away, and Rui Martins really doesn't have anything to combat it. 17-6 to 17-9, 18-0. Another 18-0 there for Joseph Wright. These guys battling, so they're down in the 18-4s. It's allowing Rodriguez, it's allowing Saeed to catch up very, very quickly, because it's the same thing happening every single time for these guys. This will create now a little bit more. Rossello is going to have to watch his mirrors. Oh, and Danny Totos down the inside there. Gets past Rob Sharp. It's a good move, and it's going to probably pull the apex as well. And it won't be too long before it'll be Omar Saeed. No, actually, the Optima just sticking ahead for the moment. And now Totos looking like he's missing a little bit of top end, and through goes Sharp again. So that'll explain as to why these cars just seem to always be running at the same pace. They can't find anything because they are swapping positions so readily. Rob Sharp seems to have a lot of top end speed on that car compared to Danny Totos. Might be running a little bit more wing. I feel the Hungarian. And Rodriguez, they're actually able to hold Saeed off a little bit. We'll see now going into the last corner. We've got 2 overtakes possibly happening here. Totos I don't think will work. Saeed, though, might just be able to. Down the inside he goes. It's a good move there. Now onto the main straight. Will Rodriguez try to get back on the Optima? He's trying. Doesn't seem like it's quite going to work. It all depends. How does Saeed take the corner? Very respectful. Oh, gets a little bit wide. Nearly a collision. And they lose a lot of speed now. Lasky is there with a bit of a run on both of those cars. Rinyaho still chasing. And Bradford, meanwhile, just pulled out. It's now 2.5 seconds. Hugo Rossello there has just dropped off that little battle pack ahead of him. Not sure why. Saeed and Lasky, they've both gotten past Rodriguez meanwhile. Rodriguez there, arguably very lucky not to lose another position to Rinyaho as well. So now we see, how is Saeed going to deal? He's at the front of this pack. There's nobody ahead of him for 2.5 seconds. Hasn't got the slipstream. Lasky as well. It's going to be putting pressure on him this entire time. Cuts back in front of the DTK, just missing any wing. Rinyaho, has he got enough in that engine? He hasn't got a slipstream. He hasn't got a run on Rodriguez, and Rodriguez did have the better line and able to keep up his speed. Down under brakes into the first chicane, and it'll be Rinyaho as Rodriguez just running a little bit wide there. Rosello's had to back out a little bit, and McNamara seems like he's probably going to be the big benefactor of that move. So he's caught up to the back of that train. Lasky just pressuring Saeed. Saeed struggling now that there's larger gaps between a lot of the cars. He can't quite find where he needs to. As here we go, the 3 wide again. Rosello maybe here looking to go both of them. No, but he'll just take Totos, and it'll be Rob Sharp holding on to that position, P5. Though as these guys continue to battle, it will allow Omar Saeed to be able to catch up a little bit quicker. Now down towards the last corner yet again for Sharp, Rosello, and Totos. Ooh, it's going to be a close one this time. No, Rosello's actually had to back out of it a little bit. And now he'll actually have Danny Totos looking now to the inside, cuts in front of the apex. Having a look down the inside of Rob Sharp. Is there enough speed there for the Keranin Motorsport car? I don't think there is. Omar Saeed with the fastest lap of the race. Defensive line there from Rob Sharp, a little bit unnecessary. How is that going to impact his speed out of the corner? Doesn't seem to be too bad. Saeed, though, is absolutely on a march here. Damien's son there battling with Tim Angbrink. Nola Sigalakis, I believe, was up there recently as well. Daniel Harvey, winner last time out. Actually picked up a Grand Slam, which you don't see too many of nowadays. And doesn't seem to be anywhere at the moment. Ben Utsa struggling along there for BRT. He's going to hope that maybe the rain will bring something for him. And Stefan Berner, let down by the team, really. Wasn't doing anything wrong. Was actually, if anything, really pressuring the position he was in. He was in third. Looking pretty good. There's Rob Sharp there, holding on to position. Danny Totos utilising that slipstream to be able to hold off Rosello. And Saeed is licking his lips. He is more or less there. Oh, Rosello! Big slide there into the corner. As we also have a yellow flag somewhere. Ooh, Luke Rosella. Here he is in P13. Giving it a good look. That does look like it's engine. He absolutely is. There you go, runs out of revs. And he'll end up pulling off to the side. Unfortunate for him, though he wasn't making up a lot of ground. He was slowly moving backwards. As Corns has really pulled onto the back of Rui Martins there, giving it a good look. Rob Sharp now has gotten away. Hugo Rossello, now that was what I wanted to look at. Goes into the first corner here. A little bit of a nudge there. Danny Totos gets onto him. He slides through the corner, but ultimately probably gets out of there quite well. And now Saeed is right on the back of these two. Will he be pulled through? I think he might be. There we go, absolutely. Totos gets left behind. Omar Saeed now into 7th place. Having started 22nd, I don't think we've ever seen a car come from 22nd to win. I don't think even the great man himself, Jack Hunsley, who won from the back quite a few times, but I think he was 21st. I think that's the best he ever did. Omar Saeed, though, showing a lot of pace. He's got to be careful, though. Danny Totos having a little bit of a look. He hasn't got too much more slipstream there, though, Totos, and Saeed should be able to hold him. Gets away a little bit. Should get Rossello's slipstream here. Totos not giving this one up just yet. Pulls back inside, might have a look deep under brakes. Dangerous position, but Saeed does hold on. Gets a really good run through the corner as well. Might be looking to pressure Rossello down towards the hairpin, the first big hairpin. Rob Sharp hasn't really gotten away from this too far, but he's moving away from it. And there we go, Saeed down the inside. Good move. Good move from the Turk, going past one of the cars from his former team. Hugo Rossello, though, looks like he's keen to try to make a move, come back onto Saeed. Pulls out. Totos is just waiting in the wings. Now to the outside, Rossello. Will be Saeed holding position. Now he's taken that corner really wide. It's going to be interesting. Can he hold the speed on the outside? Perhaps. Doesn't look like that's gone too badly for him at all. So he continues on his merry way, that is for sure. Though he's got to be careful now. Rossello definitely will have an opportunity here into the final corner. Won't happen just yet. And now Rinyaho and Lasky are battling here as well. Rinyaho slowly pulling forwards of Lasky. Lasky gets back into the slipstream. Might have a look down under brakes. A very defensive position there from Rinyaho, and Lasky has to back out of that one. Loses a bit of time. McNamara is the one chasing down in 11th. Rodriguez has shuffled back a little bit again. Sigalakis, Engbrink, Harvey. Utsa trying to keep up as well. Bradford just gone, and so we completely missed the overtake there for second. Very sorry about that. That is Corns getting past Martins and very quickly setting about getting away from him as well. Generally we see that, you know, you're able to make an overtake and then that other car can make a comeback. But not this time. This is Corns moving away, chasing down Jordan Bradford. Rob Sharp still holding 5th place. Saeed chasing down his teammate. Be interesting to see what the team does here. You probably don't want these two to be fighting too much. Let Saeed through. He's got the pace. Don't hold him up. Let him through. Let him go for the win. And Sharp just needs to hopefully not lose too much time. Get a bit of slipstream on Saeed as well. He might be able to hold off Rossello and Totos. Doesn't have to get back into fighting those two anytime soon. Rinyaho, meanwhile, yeah, he's just slowly leaving Lasky behind. Or Damien Sun there. Right in front of Manola Sigalakis. just not going to be able to find anything there. So some of the gaps starting to stretch out a little bit now. We'll get an indication here of how these front two are going, how these front two or three rather. Nathan Korn's going a lot lighter than his fellow drivers. The fellow leaders, I guess you'd say. Coming to the line now, Jordan Bradford, 1:17.5. 17.9, 18.0, so Bradford's still pulling away comfortably. 18.2, here's Sharp, and he's already got Saeed. 18.2, 17.4 for Saeed. 17.8, 18.3. Another 17 there, and losing most of the times by then. And Rob Sharp has been overtaken, so Saeed through into 5th. Rob Sharp, I feel he hasn't done quite as good a job as he could have. And now he's got to be careful because he does have Rossello right onto the back of him, or at least into the slipstream, which is as good as on the back of him. Now we have it. Rossello having a look. Sharp though holding just enough at the moment. He doesn't have to... Oh, wow, that's a wide one. He's using the wall to turn. Just couldn't get the car to brake. Now he's lost one position. Going back along, he gets back on. There he's a sit and duck at the moment. He has just slowed down Lasky, however, so it's going to be allowing McNamara to get onto the back of these two, and that could be really hurting Rob Sharp. So he was 5th, overtaken by his teammate to 6th. Mistake at the second hairpin. Down to 9th now. Lasky looking to make an overtake. He might be able to do it as well, Lasky. He's up the inside. Rob Sharp might have a little bit extra speed down the straight. Indeed, he's pulling away. Lasky pulls back to the left. McNamara's in the middle of this fight now. Oh, ducking and weaving, everyone going all over the place. Rob Sharp won't mind that one too much. Joseph Wright, we'll see. Yeah, he's losing about 2/10 a sector to Saeed. Saeed, who's probably around 14 seconds, I think, from the lead of the race. But a lot of these cars are going to have to start thinking about pitting soon. Nathan Korn's arguably going to be the first one. And he's pitting early, so he's not going to have too much control over where he comes out in the pack. He may come out in the pack, that is for sure. That did look... might be a little bit wet through the final corner. So expecting to see some rain soon. We might see some cars having to pit a few times, get onto different tyres. Korn's there, will be coming in this lap, so he might be impacted one of the hardest, having such an early stop. Saeed as well, though. Saeed's made up all this time on a lighter fuel load. It's worked very well for him and for the Optima team. Rob Sharp has just pulled away. Here's McNamara. He's pitting this lap, and he's going to make it worthwhile for him as well. Again, past Lasky. Stefan Berner still has quite a few laps left in the tank. If it starts raining, he might find himself being able to jump onto an intermediate tyre and make up some time, especially if he won't have to pit twice. So watch this space for Stefan Berner, that is for sure. Or rather, watch this space. We need to watch the sky. So once again, Nathan Corns will be the first one in. He hasn't done too badly on this lighter fuel load. Started in 4th, got up to 2nd. Omar Saeed follows. As will McNamara. So that's releasing a few cars. Look at this battle pack back here. Engbrink. Got past Harvey. Utsa is there as well. Harvey having a look. They go past the pit lane. None of them looking like they're popping out just yet. Stefan Burner here might actually be close to getting past a few. Yes, in fact, I think he will. So he's gotten past McNamara. He's going to come out. He's right next to Saeed. So he's actually gotten past. Oh, he's running right on the edge of grip there through the first chicane, but he's able to hold on to it. Expect Saeed to mount a quick overtake here, and indeed he will. So Burner's actually not in too bad a position, and he's making a move there onto Saeed straight away as well, so he's got a bit of fight left in him as well. The only problem is that he will have to pit again soon himself. As we're seeing, next round of pit stops coming through. Martins is in. Rossello pits straight behind him. I think I saw Totos in there as well. Just driving through. So Martins, of course, was in 3rd place. Oh, Rossello held up. Martin's coming back out in 13th. Corns looking... Is he going to be able to get past the Portuguese driver? Yes, no, maybe, close, or nearly contact. They both run wide, and it's a very messy overtake. But Corns does get through. Saeed going to be chasing him down now. Get an indication in a moment as to what the gap is that he's looking for. 4.1 seconds to Rui Martins. Nathan Corns right in front of him. And in comes Jordan Bradford. Will have a quicker stop, less fuel to put in. Joseph Wright comes in as well. Tapio Rinho actually has to go another lap. He is in critical at the moment. But he continues going sharp down the lane, and Joseph Wright eventually gets himself out of there. 3 cars coming in, nose to tail, and so Jordan Bradford comes back out. And he only has Damien Sun behind him, nobody else. Corns goes through, Martins goes through, Joseph Wright now comes out, having been slightly held up in the pit lane. And Omar Saeed very close to the back of that Raven West. That won't take too long. Jack Lasky, or defending there. Danny Totos, none of them getting through that corner particularly well. James McNamara is going to surely take advantage of that. Rob Sharp has lost a few positions through the pit stops, it would seem. Down to the hairpin. Constantina effect just all over the place. There's Utsa. Haven't seen any of this rain so far. And look at Tapio Rinho. Look at how dry they are running this car. That will definitely help him out. I have a lot less to have to put in. Well, I say that. They will have to put in probably the same amount. But great work by them nonetheless. And Harvey's in the same boat. They ran that car dry. They don't seem to hold each other up too much either. So Bradford back into the lead. No problems there. Rinho coming down the pit lane. Corns, Martins, Rinho still going down to 5th, 6th. As he comes out, Rossello is catching up to him up the hill, but it won't be enough. So Rinho comes back out in 6th place. Really good work there by the Finn. And Bradford just quietly going about his business. All this talk recently about Mercedes engine and whatnot seems to be performing here today. Over the top, Lasky, Totos, McNamara battling with Sigalakis now. Former teammates for 3 seasons of 2KF1, now battling with different coloured cars. Rob Sharp in 12th. He's got a big fight on his hands with Daniel Harvey. He has to try to break free, chase down the possibility of points. Utsa just struggling to get anywhere, and there's Stefan Berner. It's not too far behind Tim Engbrink, by the way, really. Compared to where he started this all. He has also pitted. Engbrink has not really gone too well this race. He's started in 12th. We were of the belief that there was good race pace in the current Motorsport car, but that is clearly not the case, as he's dropped down to 20th. Rinho here, battling with Rossello, and I think Rinho was making a move on Saeed. As it does seem that Saeed isn't really making up any time to Joseph Wright. Joseph Wright not going to be, he hasn't got any slipstream. Neither does Saeed. Saeed does have to worry about some cars behind him. Yeah, Saeed making up very little time there on Joseph Wright, so might be seeing this sort of stabilizing. I say stabilizing. Rui Martins making the move there on Nathan Corns down towards the last corner. They're running side by side. Martins slightly ahead, but it'll be as they come around the final corner, and Corns should be able to just hold position, you would imagine, though. The power in the Cosworth, just bringing Martins, keeping him there for most of the straight, up the hill to the first corner, and Martins under brakes. Good move. And Jordan Bradford, meanwhile, is 11 seconds up the road. He is just running away with this race. Rinho would love to add to the result. Lasky has gotten away from Totos. McNamara, Sigalakis battling it off. Rob Sharp just pulling away from Rodriguez, who's gotten past Harvey, and Harvey now under pressure here from Utsa. Down to the first hairpin. Good move there by Utsa. Will he hold on to it in a moment? We don't know. Dovizioso there is also going to be looking to pressure for the position. Seeing some of the cars now actually going to squeeze up again. Oh, here we go. There is definitely water on the track. See if anything's going to happen as a result. Seems to be wet in some sections. We can't see too much of the rain, but yeah, it's definitely wetter over there. You can see all that spray. It's expected to absolutely chuck it down at some stage. We have a yellow flag. Danny Totos. Seems it's suspension problem there for him.
Try and get back.
He was looking like he was going to get points, but in the end, nothing at all for him today. Does seem to be a problem on that wet surface. It's not gripping. It's slowly sliding down the hill, so I don't think any of the marshals are coming to it. Oh, nope, they'll get to it now. That'll be a tough one, pushing it up that banking, but they get it done eventually.
Watch out for debris.
So there we are now. Actually, Omar Saeed is slowly just chipping away at Joseph Wright. Looking back to see if there's any other wet sections. It doesn't see. Oh, Dovizioso, what's happened here? Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. Oh, numerous cars involved there. Dovizioso on his roof somehow flips back over, but he has got nothing left of it on his nose cone. And that's Stefan Byrne getting through, so it's Utsa that's the other BRT involved. I believe it's 3 wide. We'll see from Daniel Harvey's perspective. Here comes the squeeze. It's Damien Sun on the inside. Just didn't need to be there. Incredibly aggressive, flipping the cars over. He gets through with next to no problem. Chris Guardian and Dovizioso there. Just incredibly scary moment there. That's a big one. Yeah, Dovizioso gonna have to come back in for that one. Question marks. Like Damien Sun there. Quite unnecessary. Very aggressive. But I do think that this could be a golden opportunity. Here comes the rain. Now we can see it. Ben Utsa, Andrea Dovizioso, they will come in. They will surely put on intermediate tyres. They've got nothing to lose. Keep an eye out for them then. That is what I say. We'll see how far away they are. You know, and BRT as well. Take the risk. Put in Burner right now as well. Get on some inters. Andrea Dovizioso is going mighty fast with absolutely no downforce. Like, we're talking nothing. There's not even a nose cone there. You can't even say that it's like a 1980s, early 1980s where they just didn't have front wings. This is like nothing. It's just a bulkhead. So Utsa and Dovizioso coming in. Normally we wouldn't mind too much about these pit stops, but we want to see what are they going to take. Tyres that go on there, intermediates there for Ben Utsa. Same for Andrea Dovizioso. Let's see what their speed is like. They're going to go a lap down, however, to Jordan Bradford. And Dovizioso is actually, and the Razor team there are able to get out ahead of BRT, so not been a great day for the BRT team. But expect to see these guys suddenly start moving. Dovizioso, of course, fantastic work it was in Malaysia, in Sepang. Actually, I think those might actually be wets. I don't believe they're intermediates. I believe those are wet tyres. Not your full monsoon wet, just your normal wet tyre. The next step above intermediates. Of course, everyone else running on slicks at the moment. I have a good opportunity to see if anybody blinks and goes for the wet tyres as well. It's raining all over the circuit, but the wetness of the track is only really visible through the final corner. That's where it's really wet. That banking is not drying too well. It's actually holding a lot of the water. So it's probably not too bad for slicks at the moment. But we're expecting to see the track come back to these two at some stage. Will it make much of a difference? There's still 16 odd laps to go. There's plenty of time for it. As Nathan Corns under pressure here, Joseph Wright has caught straight up to his teammate, his more experienced teammate. Looks to be very menacing, and realistically, if these two don't figure themselves out soon, they're going to be losing time to Saeed. Rodriguez here with Harvey. Holds out the DTK. Damien's son will be running after it. Jordan Bradford, and here's Utsa going to have to let Rui Martins through, and that means, oh, that's not the best way that I've ever seen it get done, but very soon he'll have to give way to the Raven West as well. And all this time, it's just waiting for this wet tie to really start to show its worth. This could be where it does through here. He does have the blue flag, so he may end up having to just back out of it, but it seemed like he made a lot of ground. Look at the ground that he's made there on Martins. He's actually going to look for the overtake. He come back onto the dry though, and let's see what's going to happen here at the first corner. Very wide BRT. It is getting quite damp all over the track, as Martins won't be too happy with that. There we go. Now it is definitely getting wet in a lot of more places on the track at the moment. Oh, Martin's struggling for grip there. He's on the outside now. Needs to pull it back in. Utsa racing away with it now. Not a care in the world. Showing some good speed on that wet tyre. Dovizioso making the most of it wherever he can as well. At some stage, someone's got to blink. Through somewhere like here, Utsa's definitely going to be making the most of the tyre. This battle pack of 3. So here comes Corns looking down the inside of Martins. It's a dangerous proposition now to be looking for the overtake. 3 cars so close together. Rain pelting down into the first corner, and Corns makes his way through. Martins will hold on to third for the moment. Joseph Wright is there, but so is Omar Saeed, Rinho, Rossello. They're all there now. We've got a battle here, quite possibly between second all the way down to 7th. Lasky's not too far away either, and he could well join that fight quite quickly, as there goes Joseph Wright down the inside of Rui Martins. I think, look, you can see that there's performance on these new tires. I'm just wondering if maybe someone, you know, like 2KF1 with Martins, even, hell, you know, even one of the Raven Wests, you can pull them in, put them on the tires now. This rain isn't supposed to stop. Saeed now, right onto the back of this. Lasky, put him on the wet tires. You know, any of these guys back here that are battling for low points, chuck them on wets early. That's absolutely my suggestion. We're going to see in a moment. Bradford with a 125. Dovizioso is going to come across the line any moment now. 125.3. 25.1. Korn's coming in. Wright has to go through. They're all coming in now. Nose to tail, they will come into the pits. Lasky's deciding not to. He's going to go out another lap. Sigalakis has had to go through. Sharp will have to as well, no doubt. So they're deciding to bring in Harvey instead of Lasky. Not sure what the thought process on that was. Stefan Berner will come in. Jordan Bradford out in the lead. Probably had enough time up his sleeve that they didn't have to worry about it. So that's probably a fair call. These drivers, though, they're going to be really struggling for a little bit. So it's Rinyaho out first. Rinyaho is the first one out there. He's in 10th at the moment. Then comes Rossello, Martins. These guys are actually on full monsoon tires. Actually, Saeed doesn't seem to be. Korns, Martins, they are. Rossello is not. Neither is Rinyaho. So a change in direction for some of those cars. Harvey, no. Damien's Son on full monsoons. Berner, just the normal ones. Jordan Bradford is still on slicks at the moment. So I think Falcon just waiting a little bit longer. It doesn't make sense. There's no reason for it. Lasky's still going. And Sigalakis and McNamara. All these cars, they're still going. They're going to hold on to position. Joseph Wright, he's come in. And in fact, that almost seems to have been the best decision. They're staying out there. They're looking for the track position. However, as the wet weather continues to come down, you can only imagine that it's going to be worse for them. Or some of these cars may have to pit numerous times if they are to look to be getting onto maybe a full wet tire. A monsoon tire. We're still seeing no indication that some of these cars are going to be pitting anytime soon. No, here we go. Jordan Bradford will be coming in then. Oh, and Jack Lasky, there's some things happened. It's an engine problem. There's Damien's Son actually on the full wet tires. Makes a mistake. Jordan Bradford is in. Sigalakis is past Lasky. McNamara is going to come in. Sigalakis is going to come in. Is Lasky actually going to make it back there? No, the engine has cut out. May almost be able to roll into the pit lane. In fact, he will be able to. Do believe the engine may have actually come back to him there, Lasky. Quite an amazing moment. As Bradford comes back out, full wet, monsoons, I should say. Joseph Wright battling there with Hugo Rossello. Omar Saeed has gotten past Rui Martins. Ethan Corn's just slowly shuffling back as well. Ella Sigalakis is James McNamara coming out. Jack Lasky in 10th, but still going somehow. Rob Sharp is a lot closer to him than before. Daniel Harvey up the hill he goes. He's looking for Rob Sharp. And into the first corner, we'll be able to find him. Stefan Berner chasing down Engbrink. Lasky, how about that though? Engine, I'm pretty sure, had cut out. He may have just, well, tried to keep it running to get to the pit lane, but he was able to roll in there. Conked it back to life. Chucked on some new tyres, would have given it a kick or something in the pit lane, and seems to be running again absolutely fine. So at the moment, it's actually a Falcon 1-2. Something that, in the last couple of weeks, listening to the Falcon manager, you probably wouldn't have thought this was even possible, even remotely. But it's happening at the moment. Jordan Bradford is leading Tapio Rinyaho with 10 laps to go here in Austria. And here's another one for you. Who's chasing down the Falcons at the moment? It's Joseph Wright for Raven West. Driving a Raven West that's painted like a Speedy. You just don't expect it. And it does seem that maybe now the monsoons are just starting to get the upper hand. You see Joseph Wright is just pulled away there from Hugo Rossello. 4.1 seconds behind Rinyaho. For those that are on the standard wet tyre, they're probably just going to have to hold on to it though. As I say that, actually, yeah, no, they're going in for monsoon, so the monsoon does seem to be the tyre of choice. So for a lot of these cars, they're going to have to come in. I think for some of them, I think, you know, these guys in the top 10, you just have to grin and bear it. No, they won't. Rossello and Saeed both coming in looking for those monsoon tyres.
Pit this lap, pit this lap.
There's another one. Stefan Berner's going to do it. And Daniel Harvey has as well, so Harvey's come in. Saeed pops out there. It'll be, along with Rossello, Engbrink's gone past. Chris Guardian now into 10th for fantastic racing. Sharp is in 9th, having already been on those tyres. Same with Lasky, who's now feeling quite good about himself, up in 8th. Don't think there's anybody left towards the front. Tapio Rinyaho. Still running with the standard wet tyre. Will they bring him in this lap? I'll get an idea in a second of his split time, and I think they almost have to.
Pit this lap, pit this lap.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Losing far too much time, Rinyaho. Joseph Wright is a lot closer than 3.1 seconds. So they're going to bring him in. I wouldn't be surprised, he's probably going to come out somewhere around Sharp, Lasky area. Maybe even Guardian. Not the fastest stop ever there. For Falcon, here comes Lasky, so he's going to get past. So fresh tyres, Sharp will go past. Guardian 2 by the looks of it. Just. Hugo Rossello is now chasing down Rinho, though he's nowhere close enough. So Rinho comes back out in 10th. He's on fresh tyres. He has got himself the opportunity of a lifetime to just go after the result. Carlos Rodriguez. It's not worked out too well for him there. So definitely pat on the back for a lot of these teams quite early on, throwing drivers onto the monsoon tyre. Rui Martins, Nathan Corns, so 2KF1 and Raven West in particular. And the cars around them put on wets, and they actually had a slight performance advantage for a couple of laps. But you look at the weather now, you look at the conditions, and it was absolutely the right choice by the teams. They have found a lot of pace, have lost minimal time. So yeah, definitely very well played by Raven West and 2KF1. It's put those drivers into 3rd and 4th at the moment. Because a few laps later it started to become that a lot of other teams were putting on the monsoon tyre. And it's Sigalakis who's actually looking at a really good opportunity of maybe getting on towards the podium. McNamara not too far away either. Daddy has pace necessary. Lasky in 7th there. Rob Sharp to 8th. Guardian 9th. There's Rinho. Omar Saeed has been one of the fastest cars all day. He's not really going anywhere at the moment. And he's definitely running out of time as well. It'll be not too many laps to go. Here we go, Sigalakis having a look here at Nathan Corns down the main straight. Surprisingly, the Raven West have been somewhat strong so far today, but that one, quite easy for the Apex driver. Slices through the middle there, and that's that. And as we have a yellow flag, Matthew Allington. Yeah, I don't think he was... nowhere too close to anything, and that engine looking like that's expired as well. Unluckily for him, not able to roll it back into the pit lane. Had a few too many hills to go over still. Absolutely. Sigalakis so far at the moment looking really good. As we have another yellow flag somewhere. Oh, Rob Sharp. Looks like he's made a mistake. Yeah, big one there. Down towards the first hairpin. Just puts the wheel off the side, straight into the wall. And there's a lone wheel. Nope. Looks like someone has gotten a hold of it. Very lucky Harvey might have found that one. That now gives Saeed a slightly better chance of maybe grabbing a few points. But definitely not helpful there for Optima at all. So Stefan Berner there on telemetry has gone past Damien's son. Rui Martins now has Sigalakis right on the back of him. Another yellow flag. Oh, that's why Damien's son. Oh no. So what has happened to Damien's son here? Battling with Stefan Berner. Is there touch? No, he's just running wide and he's just not holding it. Finds something there and he continues rolling. It's Jordan Bradford, the race leader here. Is it the wheel? And it's not the wheel.
Watch out for debris.
It's the car. So he's going to have to come in. Go back to find where Joseph Wright is. He is in a prime position here to maybe be picking up a win for Raven West. Bradford is surely... he's going to have to come in, and in he comes indeed. So, real big controversy here in the last 5 laps of the Austrian Grand Prix. 4 laps to go here. Jordan Bradford, coming around the corner, has hit the back of... well, the otherwise retired Damien's son. Broken the front wing, has kept the car more or less in one piece apart from that. He's had to come into the pits, get a new front wing. Joseph Wright is going to come across the line now. He should overtake Jordan Bradford. There he goes. It's now going to be Sigalakis as well with Rui Martins. They're coming down the straight. Bradford gets just about gets going. Nathan Korn's going to come through now as well. The chance of a lifetime for Jordan Bradford has gone horribly wrong. A dream race, and he's going wide there at the first corner as well. Can he keep it together just? But now he is down into 6. He has got no chance, surely, of being able to do anything. That leaves Joseph Wright now out in front for Raven West. Sigalakis has moved up 14 positions. McNamara 10, Lasky 10 as well. It's Bradford who started on the front row, who was straight away into the lead, who was just building his lead all race. He is now the one that can't do anything about it. He has to somehow be able to catch up. Even just the 1.3 seconds to McNamara doesn't seem all that likely to happen. How this race has turned, and Manolis Sigalakis 6.1 seconds behind Joseph Wright. He's absolutely got the chance here. He has absolutely got the chance. Joseph Wright in the Raven West is not the most powerful car. It's not the greatest car that has ever been brought out of the Dutch team's offices. But it's got a chance here. We'll see how it goes. Rui Martins back into 3rd. Nathan Korn's 4th. James McNamara in 5th. And Bradford just doesn't seem to have anything going for him at the moment. Lasky's in 7th. He'll be annoyed that he can't have the chance of maybe sneaking a few extra points. 3 laps to go then for Joseph Wright. It's a case of it was one of the rookies. They were both looking in really good nick. It's not the one we were expecting. As here we go, McNamara and Corns meanwhile battling down towards the first corner, and that could give Bradford the opportunity to maybe grab some points back. Corns able to get his 4th place back from McNamara. Get an idea now, Sigalakis compared to Joseph Wright. He's absolutely making up time, but with 3 laps to go, he needs to be making up a lot more than that, I feel. And there you have it, Jordan Bradford has been able to get past McNamara. Coming over the hills, and the gaps are just starting to hold a little bit more in this weather. Here comes Bradford, bearing down there onto Corns. What can he do? Maybe have a chance at the final corner. It seems like the Falcon just has a lot more grip than the Raven West at the moment, and it makes sense. New tyres as well on that car along with the front wing. He has to be close enough, surely. Diving down the inside, can't find it just yet, so he'll have to stick behind Corns for just a little bit longer. Martins is the next one on the block for him. He's still got the chance at a podium. Sigalakis, 4.9 seconds, 2 laps to go. Joseph Wright just has to keep this thing on the track. Don't think about Tim Engberink and what he did way back in Season 1 Malaysia in a similar liveried car. Bradford there, getting past Corns. Maybe going to give McNamara the opportunity as well. He's a lot closer to the back of his countryman. Bradford, though, can definitely catch Martins. Probably not get Sigalakis unless there was a mistake from the Greek driver, but there you go. You can actually see the gap there. You could briefly see the gap. It is a long way, though, between the two. There you go. So definitely behind Corns and McNamara still having their little battle. Bradford has just about cleared them. Joseph Wright. Over the hill. 1 lap to go after this next corner. And that's the same can be said for Bradford. 1 lap to go after this. 3rd seems like it's a very realistic opportunity for him. Joseph Wright now across the line. He has 1 to go to be able to pick up his first win. Raven West haven't had a huge amount of success in, well, what's that, like now 3 full seasons? This is their 4th? Since the shift from, oh no, this is the 3rd full season, sorry. Since the shift from Speedy Racing, the livery that they run today. I believe the 2 wins from Nathan Corns last season are all they have. Talking of Nathan Corns, he has been overtaken there by McNamara, so he slides back another position, but Lasky's nowhere to be seen. Tapio Rinyaho here, making the overtake on Chris Guardian. Slightly making it a little bit better for Falcon, but it's still not going to be all that good at all. As Bradford there has been able to take Rui Martins. Good move down the inside at the hairpin. He's been looking good all day, Bradford. He really has. He hasn't done anything wrong except somehow find a stricken car in the middle of the track. Joseph Wright, though, still 4 seconds ahead. Sigalakis 4 seconds ahead of Bradford as well. And that looks like that is everything that is necessary. Just a handful of corners now left for Joseph Wright. Gets through there nicely. Has to hold the line here. Doesn't run too wide. Doing nicely. Holds it on the exit as well. Doesn't find That's Stricken fantastic out on the side. Over the top of the hill is all he has left to go, and then one last sweeping right-hander through the final corner. Joseph Wright. And he will be able to make it through it. He will pick up his first win. Second Rookie of the Year to do so. Joseph Wright wins for Raven West here in Austria. Ahead of Manolis Sigalakis, came from nowhere. Jordan Bradford was leading so easily. Finishes third. Martins and McNamara, the two KF1s. Fourth and fifth. Nathan Corns, great day for Raven West in picking up sixth place. Lasky comes across in seventh. Rinyaho should be able to just hold off Chris Guardian for eighth. Hugo Rossello will come across in 10th. Omar Saeed, probably the fastest car today. Couldn't do anything about it in 11th. Ingrid comes across in 12th, not moving up nor down. Daniel Harvey be the next one to come through. Stefan Berner. What a day he's had, and he ends up finishing in 14th. Could have been so much more there. For the Dutchman, that is for sure. Carlos Rodriguez continues his finishing streak, but no points this time for him or for his team. Andrea Dovizioso, next one come along quite a bit further behind. Ben Utzer as well. Struggled all day, realistically. So there he is, but Joseph Wright making the most of his opportunity. That is probably the best way to put it. Confirmation there by 3.5 seconds from Manolis Sigalakis. Joseph Wright picks up his first win of his career. Jordan Bradford, so very unlucky to have that. Very lucky, I guess you would say, that he didn't retire overall. He still picks up his first podium. But what could it have been? It could have been the win for him, for Falcon. And in the end, there's not too much you can say. You can't blame it on the Mercedes engine that time, unfortunately. Rui Martins and James McNamara for 2KF1. Good haul of points for them. And then Nathan Corns with a double finish for Raven West in the points. 6th place, Joseph Wright along with him. Great day for Raven West. Jack Lasky continuing his strong form. On a hard day, he started in 17th, he finished in 7th, and he'll be very happy with that, no doubt. Tapio Rinyaho could have been a bit higher, was running in 2nd to his teammate, was on the wrong tyre. He ends up pitting and finishing just a 10th ahead of Chris Guardian in the Fantastic, who had a very quiet day. Started in 11th, went all over the place. We'll see it in a second, no doubt. But then only getting into 9th, which is probably very fair for him. Hugo Rossello. We thought that there was going to be a bit more from him. He ends up in 10th along with Omar Saeed. Started 22nd, got as high as I think he may have gotten to 3rd. And then back down to 11th, unfortunately for him. Tim Engbring as well, sort of yo-yoing Daniel Harvey, Stefan Berner. Stefan Berner in particular started in 3rd, was in 3rd. Loose wheel. That, you know, all the way to the back of the grid. Continued his run. He was still on good pace. And ends up in 14th, unfortunately for him. Carlos Rodriguez, Andrea Dovizioso, Ben Utzer all had their issues. Damien Sun, incredibly important what he did to this race. And not in a good way. You know, he really impacted the races of Dovizioso and Utzer. Destroyed the race of Bradford. In the middle of destroying his own race, so definitely impacted here in Austria, did Damien Sun. Rob Sharp, unfortunate for him, going into the wall. Matthew Allington, engine, along with Luke Rosella in 22nd, and Danny Totos, a suspension failure, was the end of it for him. Fastest lap of the race, I'm pretty sure, yep, Omar Saeed, quite comfortably there, picking up that one for Optima. Have a look at the lap chart, look at how they sort of moved. Martins up and down a little bit. Bradford just so unfortunate. Made up time, you can see it. But damage was done. Stefan Berner, goodness gracious, you can just see his line in there. I try to find a brighter color. Just in there. Nathan Corns had an eventful race up and down a little bit. Joseph Wright made the most of everything that he had. Got up into the position that he needed to. Hugo Rossello all over the place there. Rob Sharp, Riniho, Chris Guardian. So you can see there, dropping down, moving up, back down, and then just slowly making his way forwards again. Working out really well for him. Tim Engbrink all over the place. Daniel Harvey as well. Lasky had a mostly upward trend. Omar Saeed, here's a good one to watch, yeah. So quickly he was moving up. He was into the top 10 within a handful of laps. The pit stop didn't really affect him too much. He got back to where he was in 5th place. Effectively, it may have been close to 3rd. Then he had to pit again. Twice, sorry. He got to, look at this. He's got into 5th, pit. Got to 5th, pit. Got to 5th, literally straight away pit. All the way down he went and he ended up finishing in 11th. Couldn't do too much about that. So what an incredible race there. A real lottery of a race, you'd say. So absolutely fantastic one to watch. With that, we're now back onto the calendar that we were originally going for. So the next round will be from one of the North American tracks. It's as it should be from here on in. Azerbaijan will not be making an appearance this season. We'll see if maybe the track gets fixed ahead of future seasons, but that is definitely the case. That is the end of that. Big congratulations to Joseph Wright and to Raven West. Commiserations to Jordan Bradford and Falcon. With that, everybody, we do hope we'll see you next time. Very big Happy New Year as well to everyone as well. This was filmed on New Year's Eve. Enjoy yourselves, everyone, and good night.